Good afternoon, Pigaholic friends. Now we're going to take a look at Bordissot Negra Rimada, and I'm standing under the canopy of a tall tree here. My Bordissot Negra Rimada just makes up part of this tree, but I have a couple grafts I'll just show. This was grafted in March of 2018, and as many collectors know, this is quite a rare variety still and highly sought after, so I like grafting varieties like this. I have a video about big grafting considerations, and in that video one of the things I mentioned is one of the reasons why I graft is if I have a little branch of a rare variety, I can more easily make more trees out of it by grafting just single buds and so forth. So that's what I had done here, I grafted these onto a very vigorous Panache I had, and that Panache had been sometimes giving me 8 to 10 feet of growth on a branch in 1 year. And while I really like Panache, I already have 2 other trees of Panache, and and also a Bordissot Negra Rimada, which is the same thing. So I have enough Panache to meet my needs. I did leave some of this tree as Panache. I'll talk about that in a minute. But here I grafted it, and so I've got a lot of growth. I'll just point out, this is where I pruned it last winter for cuttings. Most of those cuttings I ended up keeping to graft. And I'm looking, I have about 5 feet of growth of Bordissot Negra Rimada from this year. And this is an interesting fig. You can see, when it starts developing, it's got yellow and green stripes. And as it ripens, it turns purple. You can see on the slightly less mature one there that it's got some striping still. It becomes less noticeable on this one. But let's go ahead and pick this. The drop of honey came off on my finger there. This is a fairly good sized fig. I'm just going to guess 60 grams, something like that. A nice size. Maybe I'll go in the sunlight a little bit better to get a better view of this. Just spin it around some so I can see the stripes a little bit better in the sunlight. There's an ant there. There's some Panache way up high on a branch that I can't reach, about 10 feet, 11 feet up there, and they've been going after that. You just look at that for a minute while I chew my fig. This is very delicious fig. I would say it's somewhat similar to Panache in taste. Very good berry flavor, moderately intense. This is perfectly ripe, I would say. This is how I like it. Nice and jammy, syrupy, moderately to very sweet. It's maybe a little bit slightly different flavor than Panache. I'm trying to think, but still a berry flavor. Very nice. Back from here, you can see a little bit better the height I've got off of my grafts. One graft back there, I've got maybe 6 feet of growth. Unfortunately, one of my grafts from last year, I didn't prune it because I was unsure whether it was Bordissot Negra Rimada. I couldn't tell whether that was one of my grafts that broke. We get wind here, and sometimes my graft break. But right there in the middle, I can see some fruits darkening, and so that I had tagged it to wait to confirm whether that was a good graft or not. And in fact, that is. The one on the left is a different variety entirely, but I have one more too that I'm waiting to ID to whether it's with the good graft or not. By the end of a year, it's pretty hard to tell on some of these grafts where that growth is coming from, below the graft or not. They've grown so much. So just take a look at this again. I'm going to take another bite. Very delicious fig. Again, this is Bordissot Negra Rimada. Now, take a look why I've left some of my Panache. You can see that one branch there, it's got a lot of white on it, and it's got a variegated leaf pattern on it. Not all of it ends up, sometimes I've had it go all white and then back to variegated, and some all green. It's not a very stable mutation, but it's interesting. But I've left some other branches sometimes there to shade it, but still they end up growing out into the sun and getting really sunburnt. So they're very susceptible to sunburn. So it's a interesting little novelty that I just keep for my own enjoyment. Again, I have other grafts on here, the many different varieties, just because this has been such a vigorous tree for me, and it ended up being a good host for different ones, and it's been a good source for my Bordissot Negra Rimada. Thanks for watching.